Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Tanvi Taneja and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches around 74%. Nearly 21 lakh people recovered in the country. Nearly one-third of Delhi's population has antibodies against COVID-19 as per recent Sero survey. Indore in Madhya Pradesh declared as the cleanest city in the National Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 awards. Brief monsoon session of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly commences with COVID protocols. Senator Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American to accept Democratic Party nomination for US Vice President's post. And IMD predicts widespread rain over western and eastern parts of the country in the next 3 to 4 days. The recovery rate of COVID-19 patients continues its upward streak and has reached around 74% today. With sustained, preemptive and timely interventions by the government, nearly 21 lakh people in the country have successfully recovered from COVID-19. India registered nearly 59,000 recoveries in the last 24 hours and so far a total of 20,96,664 people have recovered in the country. The case fatality rate continues to show steady decline and now stands at 1.90%. Nearly 30 states and union territories in the country have even lower fatality rate than the national average. The Health Ministry said that around 69,000 new cases of COVID-19 have been registered in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 28,36,926. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 6,86,395. 977 deaths have also been reported yesterday, taking the toll to 53,866. India is continuously stepping up its COVID testing capacity. In the last 24 hours, the country moved closer to testing record 1 million samples in a day. With testing more than 9 lakh samples in a day, the nation achieved another milestone today. The positivity rate continues to decline despite increased testing and stands at around 7.5% of the total samples tested. The Union Health Ministry informed that the remarkable feat has been achieved by rigorously following the test, track and treat strategy. It said early identification through testing, surveillance and contact tracing, along with focus on timely and appropriate clinical treatment of COVID-19 patients, has ensured that only a small proportion of active cases require ventilator support. The week-wise average daily tests witnessed a sharp increase from around 2.3 lakh in the first week of July this year to over 8 lakh in the current week. With 9,18,470 tests conducted yesterday, the cumulative COVID sample tests done so far in the country has further risen to reach 3,26,61,252.
Nearly a third of the Delhi's population has antibodies against COVID-19. Delhi's Health Minister Satyendra Jain informed this today in a press briefing, sharing the details of the Sero survey conducted in the national capital. Mr. Jain informed that 29.1% prevalence of COVID-19 antibodies have been found in the latest survey. He said the highest prevalence was found in the southeast district. The state health minister asserted that as per scientists, herd immunity is said to have developed in the community only when the antibody prevalence reaches at least up to 40% of the population. He urged citizens to continue taking all necessary precautions in light of the ongoing pandemic. The Sero survey was conducted in the first week of August. The other two rounds of the survey are scheduled in the first weeks of September and October. In Odisha, COVID-19 positive cases have breached the 70,000 mark today. With 2,898 positive cases, the tally has risen to 70,020. The death toll too has also mounted to 380, with the death of 8 more COVID-19 infected persons. With the recovery of 46,935 positive cases till date, there now are 22,651 active cases under treatment. A report.
More than 50,000 COVID-19 tests during the last 24 hours have revealed the expanding footprints of the virus in Odisha. right from a solitary case in Bodh district to an all-time high of 524 cases in Khordha district, the pandemic has panned out to all the 30 districts of the state. Out of these, at least 11 districts have reported more than 100 cases each, while 4 districts have surpassed the 200 mark individually. The virus, which hit the state for the first time on the 15th of March this year, had only a moderate presence of below 2,000 cases by the end of May, which spiked to 7,065 by June before scaling a new high of 33,877 cases by the end of July. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In Rajasthan, 690 persons tested positive for COVID-19 today, taking the cumulative tally to 65,979 in the state. The number of active cases has also gone up to 14,671. 5 deaths have been reported, taking the state's toll to 915. 138 persons tested positive for COVID in Ajmer, 106 in Bhilwara, while 100 positive cases have been reported from Alwar. With 99 positive cases reported in the capital Jaipur, the total number of active cases in the capital has increased to 2,351, which is the highest in the state. In our series, Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Member Health in Niti Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul, urged everyone to follow social distancing in order to break the chain of transmission.
अपने बुजुर्गों को ख्याल रखना, अलग रखना, दूरी बनानी, लेकिन सोशली उनको, इमोशनली उनको दूर नहीं करना, और इसी तरह से जो दूरी बनानी है अपने कोवर्कर के साथ में, जहां हम जा रहे हैं, जहां हम खड़े हो रहे हैं, लाइन में खड़े हो रहे हैं, शॉप पे हैं, वर्क प्लेस पे हैं, बहुत जरूरी है। और साथ साथ मैं ये भी याद दिलाऊंगा कि हमें बार बार अपने हाथ भी धोने हैं या हैंड को सैनिटाइज करना है।
Dr. Sanjay Pandey of Govind Ballabh Pant Hospital, Delhi, spoke about the use of masks, saying it is important to wear them while stepping out of our homes.
There is no treatment right now for coronavirus. It's very important to maintain the social distancing and the isolation. There are different guidelines, and the WHO says that person should be wearing mask. There is no doubt about that.
Indore in Madhya Pradesh has been awarded as the cleanest city in the country in the Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 awards. The city bagged the position for the 4th consecutive time. The awards were presented by Union Urban Development Minister Hardeep Singh Puri in a function held virtually today.
Indore has not written this success story in a day. Rather, it is the result of innovations made from year to year, from waste management to cleanliness. Apart from this, cooperation between administration and citizens is also a major reason for this success. Indore Municipal Corporation Commissioner Pratibha Pal gave credit for this success to the cooperation of the citizens.
इंदौर के लोग हमेशा अपनी जागरूकता का परिचय देते रहे हैं और स्वच्छ अभियान में हम लोगों को जो सहयोग है पूरे इंदौर से वो हमेशा ज्यादा मिलता आया है। इंदौर के सभी सफाई कर्मी जिन्होंने हर मौसम में हर दिन इंदौर को साफ रखने के लिए जी तोड़ मेहनत की है, उनको भी बहुत बहुत बधाइयां, उनको भी शुभकामनाएं।
In the series of innovations, Indore Municipal Corporation earnings from processing wet and dry waste have increased by 50% to nearly 6 crore rupees in the financial year 2019-20. Congratulating the people of Indore, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the city has hit a 4 this time and surely will hit a 6 in the coming future. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
This is a scheme which has been a roaring success. We not only were able to pay that tribute to the Mahatma, but to achieve a target which is as comprehensive and as ambitious as the one envisaged. It's not a question of physical targets only. It's also a question of introducing the desired behavioral change.
Among the towns along the banks of River Ganga, Varanasi has been awarded the Cleanest Town Award. New Delhi has been awarded as the cleanest capital city in the country. Chhattisgarh was awarded the first place in the states with over 100 cities, while Jharkhand bagged it for being the state in the category of states with less than 100 cities. Jalandhar Cantonment Board was conferred the cleanest cantonment board in the country. Ahmedabad in Gujarat was awarded for being the cleanest city with over 40 lakh population. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Puri said Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 witnessed several innovations and best practices emerging from the cities. He said through a mix of innovative thinking, technological interventions and active stakeholder engagement, cities have found novel ways to address issues of sanitation and waste management in the areas. Swachh Sarvekshan was introduced by the government with the objective of generating large-scale citizen participation in the mission, along with inculcating a spirit of healthy competition among cities towards becoming India's cleanest cities. Secretary of Urban Development Ministry Durga Shankar Mishra, senior officials and awardees from all over the country were present in the function.
U.S. Senator Kamala Harris has accepted her nomination for the U.S. vice presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. In her acceptance speech, she said that she was honored to accept the nomination for Vice President of the United States.
Nomination for Vice President of the United States of America. I do so committed to the word that teaches me to walk by faith and not by sight, and to a vision passed on through generations of Americans. One that Joe Biden shares, a vision of our nation as a beloved community where all are welcome, no matter what we look like, no matter where we come from or who we love.
Taking the names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Kamala said they've got to do the work to fulfill that promise of equal justice under law, adding that none of us are free until all of us are free. She said her presence there was a testament to the dedication of generations before her, of the women and men who believed so fiercely in the promise of equality, liberty and justice for all. She said they organized, marched and fought not just for their vote, but for a seat at the table. In a war of words between the stalwarts of Democratic and Republican parties, former U.S. President Barack Obama accused President Donald Trump of treating the U.S. presidency like one more reality show. This remark was made by him in his speech to the Democratic Convention. On the other hand, at the White House, Mr. Trump hit back at the former president that he was only elected because of the horror Mr. Obama left Americans with. The grand finale of the four-night Democratic conference will see presidential nominee Joe Biden delivering a speech today. The Joe Biden-Kamala Harris team will challenge President Trump and his deputy Mike Pence for the White House in the election on the 3rd of November.
A brief monsoon session of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council commenced today at Lucknow amidst precautionary measures and with COVID-19 protocols. Special seating arrangements have been put in place for the House members during the present session. Besides the main pavilion, the visitors and press galleries were also used by members to maintain social distancing during House proceedings. All MLAs and MLCs and staff on duty have already gone under COVID-19 tests. Assembly Speaker Hriday Narayan Dikshit has said nobody would be allowed to enter the House without a corona test. More from a correspondent.
On the very opening of the Assembly, the United House paid tribute to its four present and several former deceased members. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath read the sorrow message and paid homage. Tribute was also paid to the 20 brave soldiers who martyred on Galwan Valley on the border. The House paid tribute to all the corona warriors, including doctors, health and sanitation workers, and police personnel who sacrificed themselves in saving of lives of people. After tribute, the House was adjourned for the day. The current session is likely to witness the tabling and approval of government's first supplementary budget for the current fiscal, along with several other bills. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In order to provide cheap and quality food to the people, Indira Rasoi Yojana has been started from today in Rajasthan. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot today launched this scheme through video conference. Under the scheme, 358 kitchens in 213 cities of the state have been started, where lunch and dinner will be available for just 8 rupees. More from a correspondent.
10 kitchens have been started in each Nagar Nigam, 3 each in Nagar Parishad areas, and 1 kitchen each have been set up in Nagar Palikas. The state government will provide a subsidy of ₹12 per plate and 100 crore rupees will be spent every year on this scheme. Under the scheme, cooked food will be provided to 1,34,000 people every day and 4,87 lakh people will be benefited in a year. These kitchens are being operated at high density places like railway stations, bus stands and hospitals. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Vijayanagar in Arunachal Pradesh, one of the remotest and easternmost part of the country, has been connected with mobile connectivity this month. The Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited has installed a network tower which has become functional now. A report.
The 2G mobile service that Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited BSNL launched in Vijayanagar area on 1st of August this month will be a boon for the people of this isolated place. Situated in the easternmost corner of Arunachal Pradesh, bordering Myanmar, Vijayanagar is not connected with any motorable road. The nearest place with a road head is Miao, which is located 157 kilometers away from the circle. The state government and the Indian Air Force have extended necessary help and other logistic support to the BSNL for transportations of mobile and satellite equipment. Rakesh Dole, AIR News, Itanagar.
Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has tested positive for coronavirus. In a tweet, Mr. Shekhawat said he has tested positive for coronavirus infection and has been hospitalized on the advice of the doctors. The minister said those who have come in contact with him in the last few days are advised to get tested and take required precautions.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches around 74%. Nearly 21 lakh people recovered in the country. Nearly one-third of Delhi's population has antibodies against COVID-19 as per recent Sero survey. Indore in Madhya Pradesh declared as the cleanest city in the National Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 awards. Brief monsoon session of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly commences with COVID protocols. Senator Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American to accept Democratic Party nomination for US Vice President's post. And IMD predicts widespread rain over western and eastern parts of the country in the next 3 to 4 days. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
In our series on Atmanirbhar Bharat today, we bring you a special story on the growth in organic farming in the country. The growth story of organic farming is unfolding with increasing demand not only in India but also globally. India ranks first in number of organic farmers and ninth in terms of area under organic farming. Sikkim became the first state in the world to become fully organic, and other states including Tripura and Uttarakhand have set similar targets. Northeast India has been traditionally following organic farming, and the usage of chemicals in the region is reported to be far less than the rest of the country. The tribal and island territories are also being nurtured to continue their organic cultivation. The government initiated Mission Organic Value Chain Development for Northeast Region MOVCD and Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana PKVY in 2015 to encourage chemical-free farming. It also aims at assisting farmers to adopt organic farming and improve earnings due to premium prices. Agri-Export Policy 2018 has also given a major thrust in the field of organic farming in the country. The major organic exports from India have been flax seeds, sesame, soybean, tea, medicinal plants, rice and pulses. Quick and easy certification process of the organic produce under Participatory Guarantee System and National Program for Organic Production have helped poise India to be a leader in terms of organic produce in the years to come. Public and private sector banks have sanctioned loans worth over 1,50,000 crore rupees under the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. The Finance Ministry said more than 1 lakh crore rupees have already been disbursed. The scheme was announced by the government as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package to mitigate the distress caused by lockdown due to COVID-19 by providing credit to different sectors, especially MSMEs. Under the scheme, public sector banks have sanctioned loans of over 76,000 crore rupees, and out of which more than 56,000 crore rupees has already been disbursed. The ministry said private sector banks have sanctioned loans of over 74,715 crore rupees, and out of this more than 45,000 crore rupees has already been disbursed. The top lenders under the scheme are State Bank of India, Canara Bank, Punjab National Bank, Bank of India, Union Bank of India and HDFC Bank Limited.
Government today said that 1 crore 22 lakh Kisan credit cards have been sanctioned with credit limit of over 1 lakh crore rupees. In an effort to buffer the agricultural sector from the shock of COVID-19, Finance Ministry said a special saturation drive is underway to provide concessional credit to farmers through Kisan Credit Card. The ministry said this will go a long way in reviving the rural economy and accelerating agricultural growth. As part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat package, The government had announced provision of a concessional credit of 2 lakh crore rupees, which is likely to benefit over 2 crore 50 lakh farmers, including fishermen and dairy farmers. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has said the government's decision to set up a national recruitment agency to conduct common eligibility tests for non-gazetted posts in central government and public sector banks is a good step. In a series of tweets, Mr. Naidu said this long overdue reform will be a big relief to millions of job aspirants. He expressed happiness that the test will be conducted in 12 languages across 1,000 centres. He said this will save precious travel time and resources for the candidates. Mr. Naidu hoped the other scheduled languages will be included soon.
A well-marked low-pressure area lies over north coastal Odisha and neighbourhood with associated cyclonic circulation extending up to 7.6 kilometres above mean sea level. It is very likely to move westwards gradually and concentrate into a depression during the next 24 hours. Talking to AIR News, Head Forecasting IMD R.K. Jenamani told that under its influence, widespread rainfall with isolated heavy to very heavy falls likely over Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha and Vidarbha during the next 3 to 4 days.
So our forecast for Northwest India is that from tomorrow the rainfall will drastically reduce and again will increase from 24th August. Now, in the other parts of India, particularly Telangana, including Hyderabad and then East Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, these areas will be receiving very high rainfall today. So we have kept a red color for Telangana and then Odisha also, some part of western Odisha. And then as the system, this low pressure will move towards west and it will come up to Gujarat right on 23rd or 22nd. So we have given all these areas like West Madhya Pradesh and then Gujarat, East MP. So all these are red color, extreme heavy rainfall, very peak monsoon, very active monsoon. So we have put all the advisory like flash flood and also riverine flood.
In Maharashtra, widespread rains that have been lashing several parts of the state in the last few days has helped in increasing the water levels in dams and reservoirs, thereby resolving the water woes. Heavy rainfall in Satara has prompted the local administration to release water from various dams. Similarly, the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai has partially withdrawn water cut in the wake of good rainfall in the catchment areas which supply water to the city. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The good rainfall in Mumbai has partially helped in solving the water crisis of the island city. Satisfactory rainfall in catchment areas which provide water to Mumbai city has prompted the civic body to bring down the 20% water cut to 10%. The decision has also come as a big relief to Mumbaikars as a 10-day Ganesh festival begins from 22nd of this month. Close on the hills of Mumbai, Nasik, which was facing water woes, seems to have got some respite as the water level in Gangapur Dam has gone up to 88%. Intermittent rainfall in Satara has led to releasing of water from Radhanagar Dam. Satara district officials have said that around 64 check dams are still submerged underwater. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Odisha continues to experience rains due to the impact of a series of low-pressure areas formed over the Bay of Bengal in the last few days. Almost all the districts of the state have received rains in the last 24 hours. About 10 northern and coastal districts of the state have been issued red warning, predicting heavy to very heavy rainfall in the next 48 hours. It has also been predicted that the well-marked low-pressure area over the Bay of Bengal is likely to turn into a depression today, bringing in more rainfall to the state.
The construction of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir has begun. Engineers from CBRI Roorkee, IIT Madras, along with L&T, are now testing the soil at the Mandir site. In a series of tweets, Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra said the construction work is expected to finish in 36 to 40 months. The Mandir will be built by adhering to India's ancient and traditional construction techniques. It will also be built to sustain earthquakes, storms and other natural calamities. Iron will not be used in the construction of the Mandir. For Mandir construction, copper plates will be used to fuse stone blocks with each other. 10,000 such plates will be required in total structure. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had performed Bhumi Pujan and laid the foundation stone of the Grand Ram Temple in Ayodhya on the 5th of this month. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tributes to former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi on his 76th birth anniversary. In 1984, Rajiv Gandhi assumed office of the Prime Minister at the age of 40 to become the youngest individual to hold the office in the country. He served in the post till 2nd December 1989.
Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla wrapped up his two-day visit to Bangladesh yesterday after holding a meeting with his Bangladeshi counterpart, Masood bin Momen, in Dhaka. During the discussion on a range of issues of mutual interest, including the issue relating to vaccine development and therapeutics, was discussed. Talking to media after holding discussion with his Bangladeshi counterpart, Masood bin Momen, Foreign Secretary Shringla said that he had come to Bangladesh as Prime Minister Narendra Modi felt the strong bilateral relationship between the two countries must move forward. Earlier, Foreign Secretary Shringla had called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina appreciated Prime Minister Modi's gesture of conveying the message and desire to take the relationship forward. The number of COVID-19 cases globally has grown by more than 286,000 in the past 24 hours, while over 6,700 patients have died in the same period, according to the data released by the World Health Organization today. The WHO said that the number of COVID-19 cases worldwide crossed the 2 crore mark, while the global death toll is 751,154. The WHO had declared the outbreak of the new coronavirus a pandemic on March the 11th.
In Sri Lanka, the first sitting of the new parliament began today after the elections held early this month, with Mahinda Yapa Abewardena getting elected as a new Speaker of Parliament. He was nominated to the position by the Leader of the House and Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, while MP Ranjit Madhuma Bandara seconded the proposal. All the new MPs later took the oaths before the new Speaker. The new Speaker subsequently announced that he recognizes the leader of Samagi Jaba Balawigaya SJB as leader of the opposition. The ruling party has secured 2/3 majority at the elections, while SJB has secured 54 seats. The parliamentary proceedings have been temporarily suspended until afternoon, when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will present the government's policy statement to the House. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded cricketer Mahendra Singh Dhoni for his contribution to cricket. In a letter to Dhoni, Mr. Modi said that Dhoni will not be remembered merely for his career statistics or specific match-winning roles. He said, rising from a humble beginning in a small town, Dhoni shot to fame in the world and made a name for himself. Prime Minister said Mahendra Singh has made India proud. Affectionately addressing as Mahendra in the letter, Mr. Modi also praised Dhoni for his hard work and sacrifice. He said Dhoni's dependability in tough situation and style of finishing matches, particularly in 2011 World Cup final, will forever be etched in the public memory for generations. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that all the medical fraternity have made the nation proud and shown to the world that India can be a trusted partner when it comes to global engagement and trade. Speaking at the inauguration of CII's 12th MedTech Global Summit in New Delhi today, Mr. Goyal said that the pharmaceutical industry persevered to ensure an adequate supply of medicines for India and the world.
Now let us take a look at today's weather update. In the national capital Delhi, minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature is expected to be around 28 degrees with generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle, and the minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be 34 degrees. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in Kolkata was 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 30 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will settle at around 27 degrees with generally cloudy sky with intermittent rain. Bengaluru will be generally cloudy with light rain. Minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 27 degrees. Thiruvananthapuram will be partly cloudy with possibility of moderate rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 32. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches around 74%. Nearly 21 lakh people recovered in the country. Nearly 1/3 of Delhi's population has antibodies against COVID-19 as per recent Sero survey. Indore in Madhya Pradesh declared the cleanest city in National Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 awards. Brief monsoon session of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly commences with COVID protocols. Senator Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American to accept Democratic Party nomination for US Vice President's post. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds former Indian skipper MS Dhoni for his stellar role in Indian cricket. And IMD predicts widespread rain over western and eastern parts of the country in the next 3 to 4 days. And with that, we end the midday news.